The dog. A simple creature, really. Domesticated around 23,000 years ago, the dog has been a symbol of loyalty throughout history. They're hunters, guardians, and most importantly, pets. Some dogs are more notable than others, like the dogs that once helped starving cavemen bring dinner home, or the dogs that guarded the homes of many. But there is no dog like the dog, Benny LaPerna. Benny, more commonly known as Benelli, Ben, Benelli Bean, Brunelli, Smelly Benelli, Mr. Ben, or Benito Pepito, is the third in a long line of LaPerna vizslas. Benny is a prime example of what it means to be a vizsla, for the most part. The Hungarian vizsla are notable hunters. Benny spends long hours of the day perched in fields? No, more like on the couch, hunting the birds and scavenging the land for extra food. Okay, so maybe not so good on that end. Vizslas are known to be very loyal dogs, to the point that they gained the nickname the Velcro dog. Benny excels in this area. He loves his people. If you were to look up the definition of a mama's boy, an image of Benny would most likely pop up. This Velcro dog follows his mom around like a shadow. Mom's on the couch? Oh, would you look at that? So is Benny. Time for mom to go to work? Good thing it's bring your pet to work day. Not. Instead, Benny will sit and wait for her to return home. She's feeding the birds? Benny is at her feet, licking the scraps up. Now this is an exciting task. While Benny and his mom share a love for most things in life, like walks, snacks, couch time, and naps together, these two share a very strong love for birds. The only thing more exciting than the birds is the actual smells in the yard. The sniffer on that dog is not only good for figuring out what food his family may be having for dinner, but also good for staying on the trail of a strange critter that lives below the back deck. It's a mysterious place, that deck. Benny will go outside and map the smells of the deck each afternoon using his line surfing strategy. Now, if you have a dog near you, close his ears. Are they closed? Good. Because here is the secret line surfing strategy. This technique works best on an elevated surface, like this deck. The dog will pick a line, a crack on the deck, and slowly skim their nose just above the surface, following the strongest sense. It may seem simple really, but to master it, it takes time and training, especially because this technique is many years old. In order to understand the true complexity of what this dog does, you need to understand where the technique came from. All the way back in 2002, one fateful day, Mr. and Mrs. LaPerna picked up a vizsla from a truck stop. Remember the dog we mentioned before? Yeah, this is Happy. Happy was full of mysteries. He was protective and a good dog. He didn't bark much or show too many interesting features. All he did was sniff around. That was until Jenks came. Jenks made his Facebook and the LaPerna family debut in 2008. All three LaPerna kids were thrilled to welcome him in, but no one was excited as Happy. He had finally found his apprentice. Happy taught his technique to Jenks, and after that, those dogs would spend long hours of the day with their noses in the dirt. Some days, they were even lucky enough to catch a critter in the old backyard and chase it back over the fence. But as time went on, their days of sniffing grew limited. Happy developed a mass on his lower elbow, and eventually his long, wisdom-filled life came to an end, leaving Jenks alone with all of his teachings. Jenks spent his years of solitude strengthening his sniffer and developing new ways to find the critters. Then came Benny. These two bonded instantly, and the next thing you know, the LaPernas had two pro sniffers on their hands. During one of their daily sniffs, these two dogs discovered the critter below the deck, and the hunt has been on ever since. Legend has it Jenks once fought the beast.
Get him, Jenks, get him! Go, Jenks, go! Go, go, go! Yeah!
But he was never able to take him out. His face grew white and his lungs grew old, and unfortunately, Jenks' time fell short last November. Now it is up to Benny to continue Jenks' legacy and hunt for this monster. But this task is not a one-dog mission, which is why Benny and his human siblings have launched the Benny Needs a Buddy campaign. No vizsla will ever be able to replace the great dog Jenks was. This dog needs a buddy. This buddy is not for the humans, but for Benny and the future of dogs, to carry on this vizsla legacy and keep all the critters away. But as puppy season approaches and mom and dad are hopefully reconsidering their prior puppy nose, don't forget about the particular pooch, Benny. But for the meantime, this has been a portrait of the dog.